So first, let's look at the headline. In a bid to boost Marathi-speaking population in Mumbai, UBT Sena leader Anil Parab has moved a private member's bill. This bill seeks 50% reservation for Maharashtrians in all new buildings that are going to be constructed in the city. Now, citing the decreasing percentage of Marathis in Mumbai, Parab in the bill has argued that Maharashtrians are now being denied houses due to discrimination on the grounds of food preference and religion, and thus a law is needed in this regard. The bill has also sought a penalty of 6 months in jail or a fine of 10 lakh for developers who fail to implement the reservation policy. Now that was the headline. Let's now look at a bit deeper. Let's go a bit deeper and try to understand whether this makes sense and what is the merit behind it. First, let's look at this graphic on your screen and you understand how the population in metros has grown. The migrant population in metro has grown exponentially. We have got figures from the 2001 census to the 2011 census, because remember in 2021 there was no census which has been conducted so far. Look at the increase in the migrant population in all these metros. In Mumbai, it has gone from 43% to 54%. In Delhi, it has been a similar figure. In fact, it's 42% to 41%. In Bengaluru, in Chennai, and in Hyderabad. Look at the increase in percentages here, or by almost 20%, up to 52 in Bengaluru, 50 in Chennai, and 64 in Hyderabad. Two things to keep in mind here. One, this was what happened in 2011. In 13 years, if you go by this trend, if you look at the increase in migrant population in just 10 years, from 2001 to 2011, and if you extrapolate that trend, you can understand the migrant population today in all these cities, not just Mumbai, Delhi, and Bengaluru, but also in cities like Chennai, Kolkata, and Hyderabad. So the bottom line is, in all these 6 metros, the migrant, or at least the outsider population, is more than 50% here. Can you really keep them out of housing demands, especially when they are the ones who are building Mumbai? Let's look at the next important data point, and we look at outsiders who have built Mumbai. The political parties will want you to feel that outsiders in Mumbai are Bihari and UP laborers who are taking jobs away, but they're also generating jobs here. Look at some of the outsiders. The Tata Group, it has a revenue of 103 billion, one of the biggest builders of Mumbai. Where did their family originally come from? It came from Gujarat. Next up, we look at the Ambani Group, possibly the most iconic family, the first family of Mumbai. Where did Dhirubhai Ambani come from? He came from Gujarat. It doesn't just go there. Let's look at others, outsiders as well. Let's look at Aditya Birla Group. Where did the Birla family come from? It originally comes from a place in Sikar in Rajasthan. The Mahindra Group, another automotive and construction giant. The Mahindra family came from Punjab right after the partition. And then finally, let's look at the Adani Group, the other big growing industrial conglomerate in Mumbai, building ports, building infrastructure, building businesses. These are families which have come from Gujarat. These are the families which have built Mumbai. They control most of Mumbai's GDP. So if you take away migrant income, if you take away migrant revenue from Mumbai, Mumbai becomes just another village. So when it comes to building your city, you rely on migrants and you rely on outsiders. But when it comes to giving them benefits, you deprive them. So let's go beyond just the Marathi politics and let's look at some key reality checks here. The problem is that Maharashtrians are being reduced to a minority in Mumbai. That's what the local politicians will tell you. The question, as we showed you, isn't this a reality in every cosmopolitan megapolis, not just in India? You look at New York, you look at London, all of them have migrants which are now outnumbering the local population, because that's why these cities have been built. Then you look at the claim that locals are discriminated on the basis of religion, food, and habits. That is a concern. But then you have laws to target, to address that. You have that 4 articles in the constitution meant to target that. Just enforce them better instead of coming up with draconian laws like this. And finally, then there's the claim that Gujaratis control most of Mumbai's businesses. As we just pointed out, Gujaratis and other communities, but predominantly Gujaratis, have built Mumbai's businesses. You can't be selective in who you are allowed to build and who you are allowed to get benefits from. Let's go across to my guest now. Joining us to explain this further, we have got Asif Bhamla, who's leader of the BJP. We have got Sanjay Gupta, as leader of the Shiv Sena UBT, which is the Uddhav Thackeray group. We have got Kamruzaman Chaudhary, who's a political analyst, understands Congress very well. And we have got Dilip Cherian, PR guru, and one of Mumbai's most prominent citizens here. I'll come to you, Sanjay Gupta, first. Now, the bill which has been brought in by Anil Parab is a private member's bill. But does your party, does the Uddhav Bala Thackeray Sahib wing of the Shiv Sena really endorses views that you have to have a 50% limit for 50% quota for Mumbai, for Maharashtrians building Mumbai houses. Why bring reservations? Why bring quotas in something as basic as housing here? When you have used outsiders to build Mumbai, how can you then deprive them of their share in Mumbai's development and Mumbai's benefits?
देखिए, हमारे देश के अंदर राज्यों का जो गठन हुआ है वो भाषा और संस्कृति के आधार पर ही हुआ है और किसी आधार पर नहीं हुआ है। तो इसलिए किसी भी स्टेट के अंदर अगर महाराष्ट्र के अंदर इस तरह की स्कीम आती है तो उस पर मराठियों का पहला हक है। अगर गुजरात में होता है तो गुजरातियों का पहला हक है। अनिल परब जी ने जो बात कही है उसका मतलब यही है कि जो ये स्कीम है सबसे पहले 50% मराठियों के लिए होना चाहिए।
ये कहाँ लिखा हुआ है सर?
मना नहीं किया है।
ये कौन से संविधान में, कौन से कानून के दायरे में, कौन से संविधान में, कौन से कानून के दायरे में लिखा हुआ है कि एक राज्य में राज्य के लोगों का पहला अधिकार है? सर, कहीं संविधान में तो नहीं लिखा हुआ है।
क्या आपको पता है कि राज्यों का गठन किस आधार पर हुआ? आप जानते हैं इस बात को? क्या भाषा और संस्कृति के आधार पर राज्यों का गठन नहीं हुआ?
जी,
क्या
मुझे
मतलब
पता
है जो राज्य हमारे देश के विभाजित किए गए हैं, जो बनाया गया महाराष्ट्र, पता है तो फिर आप बताइए जो वहां पे रहता है, जो वहां रहने वाले लोग हैं, क्या वहां उनका पहला हक नहीं होना चाहिए? और ऐसा थोड़ी कहा है कि जो बाहर से दूसरी स्टेट से आए हुए हैं उनके लिए नहीं होना चाहिए। यही तो कहा है कि 50% जो मराठी हैं उनके लिए होना चाहिए और जो 50% है बाकी लोगों के लिए होना चाहिए। ऐसा तो नहीं होना चाहिए कि जो महाराष्ट्र के अंदर रह रहा है, जो मुंबई में रह रहा है, उनको तो मिले ही ना, और बाहर से दूसरी स्टेट से आए हुए लोगों को मिले। तो इस तरह तो
नहीं, बट ये फिगर 50% आया कहां पर? क्योंकि अगर आप पॉपुलेशन के बेसिस पे देखो तो 50% से तो ज्यादा बाहर के लोग हैं। अगर आप रेवेन्यू के टर्म से देखें, तो मुंबई की जीडीपी 50% से कहीं ज्यादा आती है बाहर के लोगों से। तो 50% फिगर कहां से आया आपके पास? होना तो 30-40% चाहिए अगर आप पॉपुलेशन के बेसिस से देखें। अगर आप रेवेन्यू की तरफ से देखें तो 50% से तो काफी कम होता है ना सर।
देखिए, ये तो अब हमारी मांग है ना, मतलब हमारी मांग तो नाजायज नहीं है ना कि महाराष्ट्र के अंदर, मुंबई के अंदर मराठियों को पहले हक मिलना चाहिए, उसमें रिजर्वेशन होना चाहिए मराठियों के लिए, 50 हो 40 हो, इस पर सरकार को सही से संज्ञान लेना चाहिए। ऐसा थोड़ी है कि मांग नाजायज की जा रही है या बात गलत रखी जा रही है। जो महाराष्ट्र के अंदर रहता है, अगर गुजरात में इस तरह की स्कीम होती तो गुजरातियों के लिए भी हम ये कहते, अगर बिहार में इस तरह की स्कीम होती तो हम बिहारियों के लिए भी यही कहते, अगर किसी और स्टेट में होती तो हम भी यही कहते। तो इसलिए भाषा और संस्कृति के आधार पर जिस तरह से हमारे राज्यों का जो गठन हुआ है उसके अनुसार सबसे पहला हक मराठियों का आता है। उसमें 50% हो, 40% हो, 60% हो, इस जनसंख्या के अनुपात को देखा जा सकता है। मगर इस तरह का रिजर्वेशन होना चाहिए, इस तरह की बात होनी चाहिए कि महाराष्ट्र के अंदर, मुंबई के अंदर अगर ये इस तरह की स्कीम आई है तो मराठियों को इतने % इसमें उनका हक होना चाहिए।
Okay, ठीक है. Let's go across to Asif Bhamla, leader of the BJP, joining us. Mr. Bhamla, if this is the call, and don't say that the BJP does not endorse this, because this has been a long-standing demand for a long time of even Balasaheb Thackeray, and the BJP was an ally of that. By that logic, then what should we do in Delhi? I mean, should we have the same in Delhi? I don't even know who comes as a Delhiite, because that city is almost 100% almost exclusively built from migrants who have come from across it. Should Chennai also do the same thing? Should Kolkata also do the same thing? Kick the Marwadis out of Kolkata? Where do we draw the line, sir?
You see, this is the new amendment made by the India Alliance, which includes the Shiv Sena. Today, you saw them showing this new constitutional book in the parliament, which they were flashing out. And this is part of the new amendment made by them. ये उनका बनाया हुआ संविधान है, क्योंकि ये बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर के संविधान में ऐसा तो कुछ लिखा नहीं है, और ये इन्होंने अपना ही बनाया हुआ, रचाया हुआ संविधान है। शायद ये उसी के आधार पर अनिल परब जी ने उस अपने बनाए हुए संविधान को आज उन्होंने लादने की कोशिश की, जो नाकाम होगी, क्योंकि वो स्वयं अभी उम्मीदवार है मुंबई लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल के। तो वो एक अपीसमेंट पॉलिटिक्स है, अ डिवाइसिव प्रपोजल। यू सी, मुंबई एंड मुंबईकर्स, इसको और मराठी मानुस, इससे कभी किसी को बैर नहीं था, क्योंकि ये ऐसी कम्युनिटी है विच एडजस्ट विथ एवरी कम्युनिटी। एंड कम ऑन, We have a law and order in place
Yeah.
over the years. It is I don't understand what is the stand of the Congress. On Savarkar, the Sena has got a different stand. The Congress has got a different stand. Now, on this divisive, जिसे कहते हैं, it's a naked attempt by the UBT to ensure that there is difference created between the community. And let me tell you, there's a government in place. हमारी जो सरकार है वो सक्षम है, यदि कोई बिल्डर किसी महाराष्ट्रन को या अन्य किसी भी कम्युनिटी को अगर घर देने से इनकार करता है जो हैसियत में है घर लेने के, तो उसके लिए एक सक्षम गृह मंत्री भी है और मुख्यमंत्री भी है. और गृह मंत्री के पास आपने नोटिफिकेशन दिया कि कोई बिल्डर ने पार्लियामेंट, अरे एक दुका केस हुआ होगा, लेकिन आइए आप तो एमएलसी, आप एक यू आर अ मेंबर ऑफ लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल, यू कैन रिप्रेजेंट दैट केस इफ देयर इज एनी डिसइंटीग्रेशन. वी हैव अ रिस्पांसिबल गवर्नमेंट, it's a full proof government. But no, but you want to, I don't know if this is it's a tactic to blackmail the builders or extort money on the eve of the forthcoming assembly election. Possibly this also could be one of the reasons. But these divisive politics,
I think it's a bit more than that, Sanjay Gupta. But Sanjay Gupta, I also see the. Okay, Sanjay Gupta, I don't think it's something as black and white, and it's very easy to demonize the demand for it, but there is merit to why this demand has come up, even if the solution might not be appropriate. I'll come to that in a moment, but the point you raised is that the Congress is okay with it. Let me go across to Kamruzaman Chaudhary on that. Sir, the Congress is the oldest political party in India. Yeah. It takes pride in being the oldest and most national party, and especially in the recent times, it takes pride on representing federal interests, representing the entire country. Do you agree with a member of your allies saying that, 50% of houses should only be reserved for Marathis in Mumbai?
No, Ritanshu, there is a big holistic approach needs to be taken to the entire debate out here. This is not in isolation that such a demand is cropping out from Maharashtra. These demands have been there from time immemorial, like the regional aspirations of various political parties as well as ethnic groups in the country. We have seen how agitated the local tribes of Assam were in the borderland agitation or in the Karbi agitation or various other agitations that have happened from time to time. So it's nothing new. Of late, it has acquired a dangerous proportion for the very reason that the Bharatiya Janata Party government last 10 years has tried to centralize the entire country. The federal structure of the country is in danger. That's what we call it, the federal terrorism that is being committed by Narendra Modi government needs to be discussed and debated. If 2021 Mamata Banerjee could win an election on a simple
Mr.
plan
Chaudhary, one second.
of
Mr. Chaudhary,
Mr.
Chaudhary, I'm sorry, I won't allow a deviation from the topic. The BJP has not been responsible for getting migrants to Mumbai. They have been there in Mumbai for centuries before. It's not just in the last 10 years. It's about who's doing politics over migrant interests. And right now, it's one of the allies in the Maha Aghadi which has come up with this demand.
I understand what point you are hinting at, but you will not see the hypocrisy of the Bharatiya Janata Party out here. Let me cite you just two examples how Bharatiya Janata Party, by their official machinery, have tried to divide the societies in India. First one, the Gujarat Disturbed Area Act. Do I need to elaborate that a particular community people will not be allowed accommodation in a particular community's area or in a particular community's building? Second, the Basundhara scheme of the Assam government, wherein land pattas were distributed to landless people in Assam based on a particular religion. Only a particular community were denied the Basundhara scheme land pattas out there. This is the hypocrisy of the Bharatiya Janata Party that I wanted to expose out here. But I was hinting at a different point, Ritanshu, absolutely out here. There are migration issues and reverse migration or migration is a different issue altogether. Multidimensional poverty in the rural areas is one of the main reasons for the migration into the cities. I do not support this approach of that reservation in housing or reservation based on any other issues like Disturbed Area Act or Vasundhara scheme of Assam. I do not support it. But regional aspiration leads to regionalism among parties out here.
Asim Amla, 1 second. Asif Bhamla, 1 second,
Sir,
I'll
please
come
let me
back to
finish.
you. I have a counter.
Let me
question
finish.
to
आपने
ask you also. Let me also
पूरे
get in-
देश के
let me also
उदाहरण
get
दे
in
दिए
Dilip Cherian first.
इस विषय को छोड़कर
आसिफ जी एक सेकंड, आसिफ जी एक सेकंड, ये वो डिबेट नहीं है जहां पर ये एक दूसरे के ऊपर चिखम
आप
चिली
भी
होती
तो
है।
पहुंच
नहीं
गए थे
होगा।
वीर
दिलीप
सावरकर
चेरियन,
पर।
प्रोमिनेंट मुंबई का, जॉइन्स अस एट दिस पॉइंट। एक सेकंड, सावरकर पर बात नहीं हो रही। दिलीप चेरियन, as a prominent Mumbaiker, I'm sure you must have been tired and witness to jingoistic politics that have been going on in Mumbai since the 90s. Where do you stand on it? Can Mumbai, a city which has been built on outsider labor, on outsider revenue, suddenly start taking an approach that puts locals first?
I'm sure it cannot. If locals were to expect that this kind of ghettoization is going to work, it's actually going to be a disaster for the state and for the city. Remember at the moment that almost 90% of the construction labor that is building Bombay, building the Sea Link, building all the iconic projects actually comes from outside the state. Now, these are the people who are building the very buildings where you want to try and create a reservation. That's one. Second, when you make it expensive, either by bribes or by quota systems, then a city begins to die. And we have seen countries who have tried to crack down on immigration begin to lose their economic might. Now, the danger that Mumbai does not see at the moment is only because elections are so close. I have seen this time and time again. My reading is that this is one of those private members' bills which will get its moment in the sun, but as soon as the heady winds of commerce come, it'll just get swept away and it's not going to be a major issue. At the moment, it is getting its
No,
air supply because elections
Mr.
are
Cherian,
so close.
I don't
and
think,
this-
yeah.
okay.
And Mr. Chair, that's my point. Maybe this is a private member's bill, like most private members' bill does not get converted
That's right.
into an actual legislation. But the sentiment remains. And we have seen that even in the Lok Sabha elections, there was a very pitched, Gujaratis are here, they will take our jobs away, they will take our homes away sentiment, which did come up here by the Agadi against the Mayuti. And I'll try to get in the BJP there as well at this point. Asif Saab, the point that has been the intent behind this private members bill is something that cannot be denied. And the point which Kamruzaman already made. When we saw in Gujarat very recently that a Muslim woman was denied or at least opposed housing, even though she was allotted that by the chief minister's allocation scheme, because of a very simple us versus them sentiment that only Hindus stay here and outsiders not allowed. The concern predominantly has been, and as I'm sure if you are as a Mumbai leader, you will also agree with me, the concern has been that Gujarati businesses have come in, they have created their own gated communities, and they have exclusionist in nature. They try and keep anyone outside who does not share their religion or does not share their food eating habits, so non-vegetarians or Muslims, they're all kept out of these societies, and they control the Mumbai's economy as well. And if you think it's just in Mumbai, that's not the case. Your party lost in Faizabad, in the Ayodhya region, because of the sentiment that yes, all the businesses around Ram Temple went to Gujarati companies. Your party suffered losses in Varanasi area because again the same concern that all the development of the Kashi Vishwanath corridor was given to Gujarati contractors. Is there an underlying sentiment which is leading to this kind of jingoistic politics, Asif Bhamla?
देखिए हम यूं ही मुंबई को सपनों का शहर नहीं बोलते वी कॉल दिस अ सिटी of dreams, a land of opportunity, okay? And in building this land, of course, Marathas have a very important role, and I certainly endorse that inki qurbani to gain independence for Mumbai and Maharashtra. The local Maharashtrians have played a very role. But like you mentioned also in your opening statement, I mean, you have the migrant populations across all cities of India, across all cities in in the world. Coming back to New York or any other city, you have the maximum Indian migrants who are not even illegal. The government there also doesn't have the audacity to remove them or shun them off. Now coming back to here, to our India, all states. I mean, you see Karnataka, you see Chennai. They've all had a rapid rise in the increment of the migrant population, and that's the need of the hour. But that doesn't mean that our Marathi Manus, जिसकी अस्मिता इस महाराष्ट्र में है, उसको कोई नकार सकता है या उसको कोई कम कर सकता है. उनको तो उनका साथ देना ही है.
No, but
और उनको
are you saying, Mr. Bamla,
issues आते,
are you saying, Mr. Bamla, that discrimination in housing societies does not exist?
Give me 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds. No, it may be. I
Go
don't
on.
say that. It could be for even Muslims. It could be for any community. But for any community, be it any community, if there's a distinction, and if it bought, we have a very solid home minister in Devendra Fadnavis. You would handle this with iron fist. Now tell me, people like Tatas, Ambanis, Birlas, they're all migrants. They've contributed. They provided employment to a number of Maharashtrians and Marathis. So, in building a city, you involve them, and if the city is built, you tell them, guys, come on, now your work is done and over, and we don't need you anymore. So this is a divisive proposal curated, and I think the Shiv Sena, the Uddhav Bala Sena will have to pay for it, even in the elections forthcoming. And also in this Padvidhar election, which the Legislative Council election, for which Mr. Parab is pitching this as a strategy to gain and garner support towards this. But the students and the youngsters are not fools, to be a party to this. And you see, the cities have been built by everybody. उसमें हर एक का योगदान है. हिंदू, मुस्लिम, सिख, ईसाई. एक बहुत खूबसूरत शहर को आप डिसइंटीग्रेट करने का ख्याल आप कैसे कर सकते हो? मुंबई की जनता और महाराष्ट्र की जनता आपको कभी माफ नहीं करेगी. इस डिवाइसिव पॉलिटिक्स को लेकर आपने जो एक नंगा सत्य जो है साबित करने की कोशिश की है, ये इसमें आप कामयाब नहीं होंगे. और इसके लिए जो हमारी सरकार है, महायुति की जो सरकार है, उसको डट कर लड़ेगी.
Your party has been in power for the last 2 years. Your party has been in power for the last 2 years. This has been a problem which has gone on for far too long. Any prominent Mumbaikar, if I open my phone lines right now, Mumbaikars will call in and say that yes,
all
it is an issue. We are not given membership. We are not allowed to rent homes. We are not allowed to rent homes. We are not allowed to buy homes because we are non-vegetarian or because we are Muslim at this point here. But still, I mean, this problem exists. But Sanjay Gupta, if there is a legitimate issue अगर है कि हाँ फूड के बेसिस पर, धर्म के बेसिस पर लोगों को घर नहीं मिलता है, तो इसका एक कानूनी है. आर्टिकल 15 टू आर्टिकल 18, देयर आर 4 आर्टिकल्स इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन व्हिच से कि हाँ राइट टू इक्वालिटी इज देयर. किसी को धर्म या खाने की बेसिस पर किसी को डिस्क्रिमिनेट नहीं किया जा सकता. आप उस पर क्यों नहीं पिच करते हैं? आप फिर से कोटा के ऊपर बाहर अस्वसदम पर क्यों आ जाते हो वापस?
सबसे पहले तो मैं आसिफ बामला जी से एज ए बीजेपी लीडर जो बैठे हैं, इनसे मैं पूछना चाहता हूं कि मैं मानता हूं कि मुंबई देश के सभी निवासियों के लिए है, मगर जिस तरह से अनिल परब जी ने जो मांग की कि 50% मराठियों का आरक्षण इसमें होना चाहिए, क्या ये इसका विरोध करते हैं? क्या हमने ये कहा है जैसे ये लिखा जा रहा है कि मुंबई ओनली फॉर मराठीज? हमने ये नहीं कहा है. देश के दूसरे जो स्टेट से जो भी नागरिक आए हुए हैं, दूसरे स्टेट से जो भी इमिग्रेंट्स हैं, 50% उनके लिए है ना. और मुंबई ऐसा थोड़ी है कि मुंबई के अंदर सिर्फ मराठियों के पास ही घर हैं और दूसरी कास्ट के या दूसरे धर्म के लोगों के पास घर नहीं है. वो रहते ही हैं. आज 100 से ज़्यादा महाराष्ट्र के अंदर ऐसी सीट्स हैं विधानसभा की जिसमें मराठियों से बाहर उत्तर भारतीय या दूसरे लोग इसको प्रभावित करते हैं. तो मैं आसिफ बामला जी से जानना चाहता हूँ कि 50% जो आरक्षण की मांग हमने की है, क्या ये इसका विरोध करते हैं? क्या हमारी इस बात का मतलब ये नहीं है कि दूसरे धर्म के लोगों के लिए या दूसरी स्टेट के लोगों के लिए ये नहीं है, 50% उनके लिए है? तो आसिफ बामला जी आप बताइए, क्या आप हमारी इस बात का विरोध करते हैं क्या कि जो 50% की मांग हम मराठी मानुस के लिए इस स्कीम में कर रहे हैं?
ओके, आई थिंक उन्होंने अपना स्टैंड क्लियर कर दिया. बट आसिफ बामला वेरी क्विकली से यस और नो,
आसिफ बामला जी
स्टैंड और नॉट.
ये जो आप जो ये जो घिनौना जो तुझका आपने पदवीधर चुनाव के पहले जो आपने निकाला है, ये आपकी एक कोशिश और कयास है मुंबई को बिखारने की।
इधर उधर की बात को छोड़िए आप,
भारतीय
ये 50
जनता पार्टी
हमारी
और
मांग
इसके
सही है या
पहले
नहीं है?
आदरणीय उद्धव
50% मराठियों के लिए होना चाहिए या नहीं होना चाहिए, बताइए आप।
और तमाम पार्टियों के सामने ये मुद्दा
उधर मत
आया
जाइए।
है। इसके पहले
आप ये बताइए,
अन्य बार कांग्रेस की सरकारें रही है और हम देखिए
आसिफ बामरा
आप
जी,
मुद्दे को
सीधा
बढ़ा
बोलते हैं
रहे
कि
हो,
ना, are you in
क्योंकि
favor of this
आपको
bill or not?
चुनाव में लोगों का आपका उम्मीदवार हार रहा है तो लोगों का वोट
आप
जीतने
इसका
के लिए
विरोध
केवल
करते
ये
हैं
आप
क्या?
कर रहे हो, और या तो आप बिल्डरों को ब्लैकमेल करने की वजह से
इधर-उधर
कर
मत
रहे हो।
जाइए आप।
हाँ, ये कोई स्टैंड ही नहीं है आपका, ये कोई स्टैंड
इसमें
आपका
बिल्डरों
है
का
ही
कोई मामला ही नहीं है। कहाँ
आपने
कीट, कहाँ का रोड़ा,
केवल एक
बानमती ने
मुद्दा
कुंभा
बनाना
जोड़ा।
है।
मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ,
अपने
आप
अपने आप
Okay,
का
okay, I am not going to, sorry. Okay, Asif Bamla ji, you were given time to respond, and our viewers have understood the response. 1 second. Okay, Sanjay Gupta ji, Asif Bamla ji, sorry, I will have to come in at this point. Kamruzaman Chaudhary wants to make a point, and then I want to go to Dilip Cherian. Kamruzaman, go ahead and make your point, sir.
This stand
Go
is
ahead,
against the
Kamruzaman.
Constitution of India, which they don't understand.
Okay, very good.
that
Kamruzaman,
has
please
come
go
up
on.
is based on, या थोड़ा सा बोलने का मौका दीजिए प्लीज। या थैंक यू। The entire debate that has come out because a particular member has raised an important issue based on his sentiments, and sentiments of a lot of people. But as a mainstream party that I represent, or rather that I believe in, the entire issue of housing should be left to the market-driven policies or market-driven sentiments. It should not be that, like how Haryana government brought in the 75% reservation in local private factories or companies reserved only for Haryanvis, which the Haryana High Court ultimately had to reject. So it should not be like this when you can, when you discriminating against a particular community just for the sake of uplifting another community. If somebody has been denied a house or is not denied a chance to get an apartment or a plot of land in an area where the other community feels he is a threat to our community, then that person should be accommodated in a proper court of law, and justice should be prevailing from the court of law, I believe. The entire debate is meaningless at the time when the world is shrinking. I also believe that India, all the states, all communities should be shrinking day by day, and Indians as a homogeneous nature should be building a futuristic India for our next generation, not a divisive nation.
Kamruzaman
That's my
Chaudhary, you
limited
have
point, sir.
taken the debate to such a utopian level, which
your
I'm sure
partners
every
want a
politician
divisive India.
I mean, if that really happens, I'm sure all politicians will be out of a job, because identity politics, unfortunately, is the basis of our political system. Dilip Cherian, thank you for waiting patiently. Mumbai, sir, has always been resilient to these kind of politics which have been going on from the 70s and 80s at this point, one would say. Do you feel that this trend will continue, or as a Mumbaiker, do you believe that these strains of us versus them, which unfortunately is becoming more and more common across the country, is now also going to seep in within the identity of being a Mumbaiker?
Nitanshu, it cannot help but do that. But let me tell you that these are the seeds of eventual descent into either disorder or a lack of growth. You gave the example of the 6 major metros in the country. This is a metro problem. India is going to grow mainly in the cities. In the next 20 years, you will have more urbanization than ever before. And all these cities will have cross-pollination of people from multiple regions, just to keep the vibrancy, and just because that's where market forces work. So I think that this proposal, as I said, has a shelf life of election time. It may, as you said, harbor a certain sentiment, but beyond that, it is simply the recipe for a recession. And Mumbai is the city which will actually thwart anybody who tries to create a situation where economic growth, higher building prices, and greater growth don't happen. So I'm very confident that this will actually eventually be rejected by the people of Mumbai itself.
And history has shown that, Dilip Cherian, that every major thriving city today has thrived on the basis of cosmopolitan. However, Dilip Cherian, there will be issues. As you pointed out, as there's more migration which comes into these big cities, and there are 3 cities, Delhi, Mumbai and Bangalore, which gets the bulk of India's urban workforce. There will be issues about real estate prices. There will be issues of drinking water supply. There will be issues about traffic. At that point, is it not important to look at it as civic issues which need to be addressed and not make it, हाँ बाहर वाले लोग आ रहे हैं इसलिए शहर बर्बाद हो रहा है?
I think the real answer is to have more cities, not less, to have more migration into newer cities.
Yep.
And indeed, these cities are getting ungovernable, huge agglomerations where resources need to be concentrated, and also generating vast quantities of pollution in a very small and tight area. So for all these reasons, what you said,
Absolutely.
Vikangshu, is very important. And that is the future of urbanization in India, because we are the only country in the world which has a population this young and this mobile.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that needs to be the big takeaway, which I hope all our political leaders are understanding here. This urbanization is going to be a problem. Urbanization is something which is going to create a lot of issues. And if you continue to make it us versus them, outsiders versus insiders, firstly, no one knows who's an outsider, who's an insider. We are just skirting the issue. But nevertheless, thank you so much. Dilip Cherian, Asif Bamla, Sanjay Gupta and Kamruzaman Chaudhary here. Those are the issues which we're going to continue looking at on Mirror Now because we put you first. But for now, we're going to put a short break next. News and updates continue on the other side. Stay tuned.